Hello everybody, how's it going? It's me, Krendor, and welcome back to Krendor Talks in front of a shitty green screen. Today, shitty green screen's actually doing pretty good. Look at this. It's not really glitching out that much, aside from a little bit right here. Either way, today I want to talk about Age of Sigmar 3.0, because I've played a few games, and I wanted to talk about just my opinions on it, what I'm thinking, all that good stuff. So just a little background before I begin. I didn't start playing pretty much any Warhammer until Age of Sigmar 2.0. Pretty much 2 years ago, almost to the day, essentially, I started playing Warhammer. Well, I started painting and building Warhammer, and then after doing that, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll give the game a shot. And then I loved it. You know, going to local game store, just kind of playing people, meeting people, and, you know, just having some good old-fashioned Warhammer battles. It was pretty great. I've probably played about 25 to 35 games of 2.0. Maybe like 25, 30. It's around there. And then 3.0, I've probably played like 4. But enough to kind of get an opinion on it, right? So, I mainly played Seraphon, Auric Warclans, and Beast of Chaos. Primarily Seraphon. That was like 75% of my games was the Lizardmen. And I honestly enjoyed Age of Sigmar 2.0 a lot. Going into it, a lot of people were like, Age of Sigmar sucks. Don't play it, it's dumb, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, alright, I feel like I might as well give it a shot, make my own opinion on it. And then I loved it. And I think a lot of people just either haven't tried it, or they're just mad about it from Warhammer Fantasy, which I get, right? They literally just took Warhammer Fantasy and they were like, get out of here, and just kicked it out the door. And then the first edition of Age of Sigmar, I know, was apparently like really shitty, and there's like no point values or anything, and so the second edition changed a lot of that, brought back point values, all the good stuff, and now third edition seems like it's really upped it again, you know, made it a little more strategic and all that good stuff, and I've enjoyed it a lot. So that's essentially my background on Age of Sigmar, which is crazy. I can't believe I've been doing this for 2 years now. It actually feels like a lot longer, to be honest. But, you know, my specialty is the Lizardmen, the Seraphon. So, but the differences so far from 2.0 and 3.0, from what I can tell, is it's a lot more interactive on your players, or your opponent's turn with your moves. So, every phase that happens, it feels like you're interacting in that phase, right? The hero phase, you also have a hero phase. And then the movement phase, you also have a movement phase. Because you can be like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, retreat my guys D6 inches. Whatever that one's called, I can't remember. And then you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna all-out defense in this shooting phase. Or like, oh, I'm gonna all-out defense. A combat phase was pretty much always, you're both paying attention. But the other phases was like, especially the hero phase, where it's like you're both getting command points. You're both picking which of your heroes is going to... you know, go pretty much have their finest hour, generate command points, and then just having things like rally. So you're like, oh, you know what? Let's spend the command point. Let's rally back some skinks, or rally back some clan rats or something. Skaven's the other army I played. Love Skaven. I played the lizards and the rats now, so it's fantastic. But yeah, I know I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and you know, I would say the one downside so far is that there's a lot to remember. Like, there's a lot to remember. So, one thing I've been doing is I've been creating... There's a magic card creator. And so I've been making a lot of my spells and a lot of the new, you know, battle tactic plans, whatever it is, for, like, we gotta pick one every turn. So, in the 2.0, you didn't really have anything. In 3.0, you have to be like, this turn I'm going to do a battle tactic, and I'm going to run 3 monsters or units, and they're going to end right next to each other. And that's the thing. If you do that, you get points. So, it's different because in the old one, it was literally just get the objectives, and that's it. While this, there's a lot of, you know, side objectives and side quests and stuff like that. And apparently 40k also has that. I've never played 40k, by the way. I've never really been interested. I would actually like to just learn, just for the sake of learning it. I do have Necrons, so I mean, you know, maybe Maybe I'd play it one time, but I'm just far more a fantasy person than a space person. Like, somebody was like, dude, Krendor, we should try the orcs in 40k. And I was like, well, I do like the 40k orcs, but they have vehicles, which I don't really care about, mechs, and guns. And then in fantasy, they have, like, none of those, and they have monsters and dragons and boars and bows. And I don't know, I just like it more. It's just my personal preference. Like, I don't care. That's besides the point. I've never played 40k. Right, so I've only played Sigmar, and it just seems like there's a lot more tactical things to think about. So having all these magic cards I've created makes it easy, because I can look through, and instead of reading all the core rulebook stuff they give you, like, let's see, at the beginning of the you can just put, like, walk 3 units and turn next to each other if monster more point. Like, you can just summarize it really quick and be like, oh, okay, that's that one. And then before you know it, you'll know which one they are anyway. So you just look through it and everything. It's just kind of like, it's like having flashcards in school, right? Like, you're making flashcards, except they're magic cards, so they look cooler, and you can, you know, go on the internet and find some pictures of Warhammer shit. And I even did it for my armies. So, like, I'm doing it for Skaven, because Seraphon, I pretty much know everything. I've played enough games to where I'm like, Bastiladon, you know, he does that, 4s by 3s, and then the tails, 3x3 -1 D3 damage. The solar engines, like 4x3, -1, 2 damage. Watch, now I'm gonna be completely wrong. From my memory, I pretty much know most of the Seraphon stuff, right? But with Skaven, I don't know a whole lot of the stuff, so having these little cards where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this guy this spell. So I'm going to put his card right here so that I remember, like, oh, hey, this guy has this spell. And if I want to use it, I can be like, oh, I used that spell. And maybe put in, like, a little pile. It's like the used pile. And that way, it's a lot easier than having, like, the big AOS reminder sheet or having, like, the war scrolls and print it out and looking them all up. You just got a little magic card and you're like, oh, yeah, that's the thing. Right? So I've been trying that. That's pretty good. I like it. I'm going to do that for the new Auric War Clan stuff because that's going to... After learning rats, man, that's gonna be a whole nother thing. That'll be here in like a month or so. How'd I get here? Oh yeah, so 3.0. I love 3.0. Everything so far has been great. I love that the monsters now count as more points on objectives. I believe it's like if you have a unit over 5 wounds, it's 2? Or is it like over 10 wounds is 2? Something over wound amounts equals 2 models on an objective. I just can't remember off the top of my head. And then I think monsters, like big monsters, are like 5 points. And then I know Gargants are like 30 or some shit. You just walk on it, you're like, it's mine now. So that's a thing. But I like that they're actually doing it. Because back, I would play Beasts of Chaos, right? So terrible decision. Beasts of Chaos are awful. But now I'm hoping they get a new book because I just played the Total Warhammer DLC. Or Total Warhammer 2 DLC, and you just, you know, you play as Taroks, and you get Gorgons and Cygors and Bray Shamans. You're just beating the shit out of everything. I'm like, dude, this would be so cool if my actual Warhammer army was this good, and the book wasn't from, like, 2018, and was like, oh boy, my Doom Bull hits on 5s and wounds on 4s, and a rend of nothing. Alright, that didn't work. Okay, my Cygor throws a rock. One throw of 4x2. Okay, it missed. 50% chance it misses. All right, great. And that's just D6 damage. Like, even the Skaven Catapult is better than the Cygor. The Cygor could at least have something like... I just need to make a video on, like, Beasts of Chaos rant. Like, at least give him, like, a thing where he throws his rock, and if it's at a unit of 10 or more models, it does double damage, or does 2d6 instead of 1d6, kind of like the Skaven Catapult. That'd be pretty neat. Or maybe the closer you are, the more damage it does. It's just like, ugh, and he's just throwing it straight at you, while the further away it does it. Or the closer they are, the easier it is to hit. That'd be pretty neat. Like, maybe you can just lob that thing all the way across the board, but it's like a 6 to hit, and then... it's, you know, closer and closer you get. Maybe if you're, like, right next to him, it's like a 3 or a 2 to hit, because you're literally right there, and he's just like, ugh. Right? That'd be, there's all the, or the Gorgon. If the Gorgon, like, had that, I think there's a Chaos unit that has it where it tables down instead of tabling up, so instead of getting weaker as you know, bracket him, he gets stronger. So you decide like, oh, I'm gonna try to kill this Gorgon, and he's right next to all these units, and you don't kill him, and then he goes like berserker frenzy, and he's just like in the game, or he's just like, and you're like, shit, dude. But in the actual game of tabletop, he's just like, maybe I'll hit you. Ah, jeez. Like, Beasts of Chaos they just need love, man. They just need love. They just need a new book. They need new models. Oh my god, could you imagine, like, Tarok? They need to make Taroks, right? Like, just make a big-ass Taroks model with, like, 2 axes, and he's, like, the size of Lord Croak, but he's just a Doom Bull, and he's just, like, leading the Beastmen. He's just... Please. Games Workshop. I've literally gone off track of my thoughts on Age of Sigmar 3.0. Well, okay, that doesn't even... Age of Sigmar 3.0, my thought is make the Beastmen good. There's one thought. I love Beasts of Chaos. I love the Beastmen, and I just want them to be good, and I want to have them be good. Please. So then the Auric War Clans will be good. So anyway, Age of Sigmar 3.0. You know, I think it feels a little more balanced in a lot of ways. I think since they've gone away from Horde armies, I guess that's why I kind of got into Beast of Chaos, because they have a lot of monsters, right? That's the whole point. They have a lot of monsters in Beast of Chaos, so I would get on a point with, like, a Gorgon, and you're like, alright, he tries to take the point from, like, you know, 5 clan rats, and, nope, he can't do it. Him and 1 clan rat, or 2 clan rats are on the thing. I guess the 2 clan rats control it. Like, no, in real life, well, if Warhammer was real life, he would just be like, just kick him aside, right? And he's big enough to hold objective himself. I don't know. So I'm glad they did that, is what I've gotten, you know, we boiled it down, essentially. Anyway, it's, let's see, how do I get back on track here? Seraphon, Beast Chaos... Command points. I love the new command point changes, because a lot of times, you know, people would just hoard command points, and it got kind of annoying to deal with, and now it's like, okay, I actually have a incentive to use my command points, because they're gonna go away if I don't use them. So it's nice. Plus, you don't have to remember every turn, like, how many command points do I got? I don't know. So I really like the command point changes. I love Unleash Hell. I think it's fun to do. I mainly like it because the armies I play are very good with Unleash Hell. If I didn't have a lot of ranged, I'd probably not like it. Although it is -1 to hit, but, you know, when you got, like, Skaven stuff, a lot of times you're just like, whatever. Just depends. And then, speaking of Skaven, that's what I was going to mention, Horde units. So one of the big changes is the Horde units, right? So reinforced units can only be double and triple whatever their base unit size is, right? So if you have 20 clan rats, the most you can have as battle line is 60 clan rats. And that obviously messes up a lot of people's stuff. Because a lot of people, especially with, you know, clan rats are a little different because you can still run, like, decently sized blocks of them. But with stuff like, I don't know, skinks. I think skinks can only be, is it 10 now? Is it 20? Is it fit? I don't remember what the skinks are, but you no longer can run, like, a bajillion skinks. Well, I guess you can, but, you know. Besides the point, people would run, like, an entire army of skinks. It's like, alright. Or, I guess skeletons with undead, zombies, like, all the horde units. And I don't mind that. I don't mind if people want to do that, but I get why they did what they did with that. Because it's like, there's all these cool models, and, you know, people just run, like, a billion skinks. Like, it's not fun to play against. You know, I feel... I wouldn't even want to play that. Like, it's just boring to me. Like, alright, I got all these skinks. Well, maybe I'd play it, like, once. I'm, like, walking all over the place now. I'd probably play it a couple times, be like, alright, I had my fun, that's it. But some people are like, this is the meta. The meta is run 500 skinks and put mortal wounds on 6s on the thing, and then do the thing, and just do that every time. It's like, alright. I get it, but I would never want to play against that person. Like, they just show up like, hey, everybody, who wants to play a game? Everyone's like, yeah, I got laundry, man. Sorry. You know, like, it's just, it feels more fun when you have, you know, like, your battle line, and you got some heroes that are, like, sub-heroes. You got your general, and you got, like, some monsters and stuff. It's a more balanced game to play, right? You have like all the different things happening. And so I like that a lot in comparison to the Horde armies of 2.0. And I feel like they are going to change a lot of it. Like to me, especially like painting and building everything, like building 80 clan rats is the most clan rats I want to build. Some guys be like, I built like 500 clan rats, dude. Like, that's great. I would not want to do that. I would not want to do that. So yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I've really enjoyed Age of Sigmar 3.0. My thing is freaking... Okay, there it goes. I've really enjoyed Age of Sigmar 3.0. I will say there are some things that I don't like. Hold on, I had them written down here. Da 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 da. No, I can't find it. This is perfectly on par for this show. Oh yeah, here we go. So pretty much, you know, a lot of monsters can be overpowered in this. Also, this soundtrack. Rise of Nations, you're freaking. That's Rise of Nations soundtrack, by the way. A lot of hero monsters are strong as shit. Obviously, like Lord Croak, Gortrek, the dwarf dude, right? I know, like, Marathi. I know Archaon. I know, the Lumineth guy. Lumineth are just crazy as shit, dude. Like, so, like, you know, they're kind of heavily buff. You know what it reminds me of? League of Legends. You know how they just buff, or Dota, or whatever you want. They buff, like, the strong heroes to, like, play these ones, guys. So it feels like they want you to be like, hey, if I'm playing a god character, he's going to be really strong, right? Or whoever. And then sometimes a little too strong. So it's like, maybe we got to dial it back a bit. But you don't want to dial it back too much. Because you also want people to buy the superhero characters, right? Yeah. Because they do want to sell them. That's part of the thing. They don't... I'd say, in addition to having a more balanced game, they're also like, hey, I'd rather have somebody buy... You know, Lord Croak and some other shit over buying 5 boxes of skinks, right? So, you know, that's it. That can go both ways. That's one of the things I saw. I was like, yeah. I would also say there is a lot to remember. But, you know, I guess it would be even worse for new players because now you're getting into it. But I feel like if you're a new player, I would just, like, not... Don't even, like, use any of those rules. I mean, you're literally, like, learning the game. So just be like, we're not going to play with any rules, right? That makes sense. But, you know, outside of, like, having a lot of shit to remember, on top of your army, you already have to remember everything for. And then some, you know, super strong units and stuff like that. I mean, I've really enjoyed it. I like the pacing of the games now. I like how you have more stuff to do on both your turns. And I love command points more than I used to. I think it's more fun, and you can only give one command to one unit per phase, I believe is what it is. So that's pretty nice, or... Yeah, I think that's what it is. And the hero has to issue the command to that unit. So you can't, like, super stack units and everything. I also like that they got rid of re-rolling saves. Because... and that they've made a lot of the... saves just +1, -1. That was the other big change they did, because, oh my god, the amount of times I had to play against, like, what was it called? Slaves to Darkness, and it's just like, alright, saving on 2s, and re-rolling 1s. It's like, alright, nothing has died. Yeehaw! So, you know, I guess that's where mortal wounds your friend, and that's like, alright, and now a 5-up ward? Okay. So it just makes it not as fun when that stuff's going on. So I like that they kind of did that, just as a generic thing across the board. But yeah, I love 3.0. I think it's great, and I'm looking forward to them changing it more and improving upon it, and kind of just building a great tabletop experience. I think that's all I got. This is almost 20 minutes. Oh my god, I just ranted. Half this was just Beasts of Chaos ranting. Also, add some more updates, some more Skaven. I swear, yeah, every army I pick is the oldest models. Lizardmen, Seraphon, Skaven. I bought some Skaven units. They are literally metal. I have to put together these metal ass units. Then I've got Beasts of Chaos, which some of those models are rough, man. A lot of the models are rough. And then I've got who's a what's it? The orcs. But at least the orcs are getting a lot of new shit, and they're getting a new book, and there's, you know. Iron Jaws aren't too bad. The Bone Splitters are... It's like glue on his upper arm, glue on his lower arm, glue on his hand, glue on his head, glue on his abs, glue on his ass, glue on his... Like, you glue on every single bit. And it's like that with Storm Fiends, too. Like, my god, it's like glue on his armor plate, glue on his this, glue on his that. And then the new guys, it's just like... 3 pieces, put them together is good. It's like, oh my god, dude. Please, just update some of those old-ass fun armies I love. But I guess everybody wants updates, right? But mine are more important. Alright, either way, I'm done. This is a 20-minute rant. It needed to only be like 10 minutes. So thank you very much for listening to me rant. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next time. I still want to do some non-content battle reports. Now that I'm actually getting a lot of stuff built and painted, I think I'll actually be able to do some non-content battle reports where I play against myself and do really dumb shit. I think it'd be fun. Or I can, you know, play a friend or something like that. We'll see. But I really want to do a game against myself because I think it would be funny. So I'll do that first, and then if it goes terribly, I'll just play against someone else. So we'll see. Either way, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Okay? Okay. See ya.